Episode 299. Zhang Xinji smiled faintly at this moment. This Lord Grimm's skill was indeed impressive, to have also seized the perfect moment to strike. But I didn't issue an attack command at that moment. It wasn't because I couldn't seize the opportunity. I deliberately left it for Lord Grimm. The moment he was waiting for was right now. Go. Another silent text message flashed, this time in Tyrannical Ambition's internal channel. The Blade Master before Ye Weiyang sprang forward as if prepared, his draw sword slash sending a wave of sword energy soaring into the air. Lord Grimm was leaping through the air, bounding straight toward Yan Rong. At the same moment, the Elementalist's flame strike erupted. The striker, following the Blade Master, leapt into the air, executing a hawk stomp to crush Lord Grimm from above.
This 2-3 formation.
Huang Shaotian suddenly realized their formation wasn't a simple left-right split but a horizontal spread. The two, the striker and the Blade Master, shielded the cleric, darting to the left while the three, the sharpshooter and the elementalist, veered to the right. This positioning, however, allowed them to launch the most advantageous counterattack right then. Yi Shu's hand was about to strike its target, Zhang Xinji's Ye Weiyang. Yet the first target Zhang Xinji wanted to take down was also Lord Grimm. The Elementalist, Striker, and Blade Master of Tyrannical Ambition all launched their attacks at the airborne Lord Grimm. Acting on Zhang Xinji's orders, they had anticipated this very move. In mid-air, Ye Shu saw sword energy, a dark kick, and a blazing flame surge erupting from the elemental mage, all hurtling toward him. In that split second of peril, he twisted his torso mid-air. The myriad mechanism umbrella swung out. Bang! A gunshot rang out, propelling him with a flying gun maneuver. At the critical moment, Lord Grimm used a gun-fu leap, his body mid-air suddenly changing course, altering its predetermined path. Originally aimed for the enemy's left flank, he suddenly veered toward Tyrannical Ambition's right wing. On the left wing was the cleric Ye Weiyang, guarded by a striker and a blade master. On the right wing were Jiang Yu's Love of a Crowd and a sharpshooter, both long-range classes. Jiang Yu's blazing impact missed Lord Grimm. Meanwhile, his sharpshooter was trading fire with Su Mucheng's windward formation across Yan Rong's position. But then, Lord Grimm spun in mid-air and came crashing straight toward the two of them. The sharpshooter knew some close combat skills, but he was locked in a stalemate with windward formation and couldn't break away. Jiang Yu had tried a falling flower palm that afternoon, and it had proven to be a joke. So now, both of them, knowing full well how formidable Lord Grimm was, began to panic. They didn't even think to counter, they just scrambled backward. On the left flank, the Blade Master's draw sword slash cut through empty air. That was bad enough, but then the striker's eagle stamp came down, only for the target to fly away mid-air. The striker had no means to redirect his fall mid-air, and could only watch helplessly as his character plummeted. At least the direction of his step was decent. He wouldn't be stomping right into Yan Rong's face. Unfortunately, his judgment was a bit too naive and wishful. Who was it standing opposite Yan Rong now? That was Lu Mu, Huang Shaotian's Lu Mu, one of the most adept players in all of Glory at seizing an opening. He wasn't about to miss a golden chance like this. The striker had just felt secure when the level 27 Blade Master opposite Yan Rong suddenly leaped back. A flash of sword light shot up like lightning. The sword energy grazed past, merely brushing the striker's body. He wasn't sent flying, but his balance shifted ever so slightly. The eagle step landed, one foot just catching the edge. The striker's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately tried to spring back. But would Huang Shaotian give him that chance? Of course not. The sword light descended, a simple basic strike cracking down on the striker's head. The striker was out of options. He fell into the Yan Rong, where flames licked at his body, immediately beginning to burn away his life. The striker leaned back, ready to leap up, but as he raised his view, he saw the Blade Master still standing there, unmoving. His heart sank. He knew his opponent wouldn't give him this chance. He immediately turned and ran back through the lava, trying to jump back to his own side of the bank. Zhang Xinji and the Blade Master saw the striker fall into the gully. Did they just stand there and watch? The Blade Master's only long-range skill that could bypass Yan Rong, the draw sword slash, had just been used on Lord Grimm. Now it was on cooldown, leaving him stranded on the bank, helpless to do anything but stare. Zhang Xinji, however, had a plan. He rose and raised his cross, chanting to cast a sacred fire. Steamed bun invasion wasn't idle either, leaping over to try and smack Ye Weiyang with a brick. Huang Shaotian's character, Liu Mu, flashed forward, stepping in front of him and saying,
"No use, not enough range."
That's enough, right?
"Even steamed bun has some judgment."
Just a hair's breadth away. He was baiting you on purpose.
How treacherous.
Baozi bought it instantly and hurled his brick straight at the striker inside the flame prison. Apart from its burn damage, the Yan Rong doesn't really hinder a character's movement. The striker hastily dodged, and steamed bun invasion roared.
You dare dodge?
As he spoke, he grabbed another handful and threw down a sand toss. The striker was baffled. What possible reason did he have not to dodge? The sand toss had a wide area of effect, and at this close range, it was impossible to dodge completely. The striker had only managed to avoid a direct hit to his eyes, preventing blindness. Weaving and dodging, he finally made it back to his own shore with great difficulty. He immediately leapt up, only for a dazzling burst of cannon fire to suddenly bloom before his eyes.
Damn it!
The striker cursed as he was blasted off his feet by the explosion, landing right back in Yan Rong's lap. He swiveled his view and saw that Wind Uncle's smokescreen had actually taken a cheap shot at him.
Jump.
Zhang Xinjie's voice rang out at that moment. Upon hearing it, the striker didn't bother to assess the situation, immediately leaping upward. Huang Shaotian's draw sword slash was off cooldown now. He could have used it to slash the striker back down, but Ye Weiyang's chant for sacred fire had just concluded. A white flame burst into life, its timing absolutely perfect. Huang Shaotian's Liu Mu also had to dodge this skill that could seal abilities. Meanwhile, the Blade Master's wave wheel slash was ready, and with a flash of holy light, a sword beam shot out, forcing the group back further. The striker obeyed Zhang Xinjie's command, leaping toward the shore. There was still a gap, a slight window of time. As Zhang Xinjie was calculating this, a brilliant sword light flared from the opposite bank. It was the exact same skill, draw sword slash, but in Zhang Xinjie's eyes, the brilliance of this sword light completely overshadowed their own blade masters. Indeed, his setup was theoretically perfect for getting the striker back. But this was a three-man maneuver. If any one of them was even a fraction of a second off, it wouldn't be 100% flawless. But who could possibly pinpoint a flaw that's just 1% off? That was what Zhang Xinjie had originally thought, but now he knew he was wrong. Liu Mu's draw sword slash started from a closer position, but his target was even closer. So, between Liu Mu and the Blade Master, whose Rising Dragon slash will strike its target first? If the Blade Master was faster, his draw sword slash would undoubtedly be interrupted. Could he dodge the Sacred Fire's sword energy and still land a strike faster than the Blade Master? The fact was, Liu Mu succeeded. His sword flashed and landed on the striker first. With a furious roar, the striker was sent tumbling back into the lava. The Blade Master's draw sword slash followed a step behind. No one could tell the exact difference in timing. All they saw was Liu Mu parry the Blade Master's strike, having already sheathed his sword after cutting down the striker.
This?
Zhang Xinjie's expression finally changed. If those few small details were intentional, then that could be called a miracle-level play.
Who is this Liu Mu?